listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Sleepy Hollow After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Sleepy Hollow After Show.
Hey there, sleepyheads. It's, you know what time it is. Bing is for doing, and we are doing another Sleepy Hollow after show. This is season 1, episode 4, The Lesser Key of Solomon. I'm Matt Lieberman, and joining me on the panel, as always, are the fabulous and talented Miss Jacque Borowski.
Hey.
And the fantastic and hilarious Mr. Stephen Lemieux on the ones and twos.
Hello! I'm excited about tonight's episode, guys.
Oh my god, me too. So much to talk about. Oh, let's just rock out for a hot second.
That's my fake air guitar that apparently I play under my neck.
Apparently. Now it's time. Anyway, it's time to talk about Sleepy Hollow. So much happened this week. We laid out, I think, the foundation for the rest of the season, potentially the rest of the series. We don't know. We got a lot to talk about the Abbie-Jenny relationship. We had some Hessians. We had a door open to the
Hessians.
Hessians.
S-set.
Okay, we had some Hessians. We had a door open to the 7th circle of hell. Such craziness.
This is my favorite episode so far.
I know. It was really, really awesome. And Steven knows because we watched it together that I was just howling through the whole thing.
Dude, he exploded.
He exploded. And they tortured him and they severed his head? What?
I do
Boston
miss
Tea
watching
Party?
shows with Matt because Matt reacts so enthusiastically to everything.
You know, maybe I should do that as a podcast too. Is every time I watch a TV show is just tape myself so that people can hear my ridiculousness. But that's neither here nor there. Quick recap of the pun jar. We are at $4.50, and we're gonna go right into the episode now. So, Jenny is on the run. We pick up right where we left off, or we start at the Boston Tea Party. We started at the Boston Tea Party, which turns out was Ichabod's diversion, so that he and some other, British guys who were on George Washington's side could
What did he call his plan? I forgot what it was because she calls it the Boston Tea Party, and he's like, "Oh, that's a clever name."
What a festive name.
No,
Yeah.
it was like the throwing of the tea, the ruining of the tea,
The destruction of the tea.
the destruction of the tea.
Yes.
You've apparently come up with a far more festive name for it. Yes. And this Hessian blows himself up with a damn bomb, like an old school round bomb with the fuse, which is awesome. And there should be more round bombs on television at all times.
Totally was watching. I was like, man, that guy has nice hair. He exploded.
He exploded. He effing exploded. And then
You know what I like though about this series is that I can't think of a just regular cable show that had ever had flashbacks to several flashbacks to the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Because usually people pick a different time period, and when there have been other shows that have characters that span time zones, and they most of the time they pick a different time period or a different place. Like if they pick the 1700s, they pick like France.
Sure.
But I'm just so excited because I'm like, oh, Revolutionary War stuff. This is cool.
Yeah, and he's plugging himself into everything,
Yeah.
Ichabod.
We were actually talking about that in the show where we were thinking it's going to be great when we get an episode that they actually do the whole episode back in the Revolutionary War era.
And I'm pretty sure that episode is going to be kind of the Katrina backstory episode, like what happened to her after Ichabod was put in the ground.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be our big flashback episode, and we'll find that out, I guess, when Katrina becomes a bigger part of the story. We saw in the previews she's coming back next week in some capacity, which is exciting.
And apparently people, I've been told this, are shipping Katrina and Ichabod, and it's Katrina.
Katrina,
Boo.
Ichabie, or it's
Ichabie, which I call Crabby.
It's either Ichabie or it's Ichabie, which is what I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, Ichabie.
Ichabie, yeah.
You guys saw a little chemistry with Jenny.
Oh yeah, totally.
Ichabod, though.
And she was eyeing him right back, and then when she asked,
it's gonna be a love triangle.
I know. Oh my God, are we ready for that? Can the world handle the Sleepy Hollow sisters on Ichabod love triangle? I don't know. There's already so much enmity in their relationship. There's already so much tension.
I'm down with that. I'm down with I'm down with the sisters love triangle
because
I
Sleepy
love
Hollow,
them both.
not sleepy around.
Yeah.
There's gotta be romance.
Punjar? Yeah.
Damn it.
Sweet, $5.
Thought I could at least get that.
Yeah. Anyway, when she asked Abbie, like, what's the deal with you and Prince William? And she's like sidestepped it. That to me sounded like she's like, is he single? You know, like just a little bit. But anyway,
didn't she call him? She called him in the last episode like tall, dark, and British.
Yeah. Well, he is tall, dark, and British.
She likes him.
Yeah. Actually, we were asking the question while we were watching the show, like, when's he gonna get some new clothes?
This, oh my gosh.
Was a YouTube comment.
This was a YouTube comment, and you know what? I was chatting with a friend about this show as well, and that was her first comment. She's like, the guy has been in the ground for like 200 years. Yes, he's gorgeous, but he's got to smell like poo because they haven't given him a chance to like change his clothes. I think he showered.
Yeah, he
in
showered
that first episode.
In the second episode, but I'm sure he's washed the clothes by now. He just doesn't have any other clothes, and he doesn't have any money.
Abby, you gotta give a guy a break.
They gave him a washboard.
Yeah, he can rub his clothes dry and do the whole old school washing thing.
We can have a fun episode where Abby teaches him how to dress like a person of this time period.
It'll be an episode where he has to go undercover.
Look, if magic can keep him alive, then magic can keep his clothes downy fresh. Okay. Also, I think at the same time, like, we're like, oh, when's he gonna get new clothes? We don't really want him to get new clothes.
I know,
seriously. I mean, that kind of ruins the illusion.
It's his uniform. I know. He's not going to get his haircut till like season 3. But all right, so let's just jump into like where we jumped in. We came in exactly where the last episode ended. Jenny's on the run. Abbie pleads with Captain Irving. I now firmly know.
We're skipping over the best first scene ever.
Oh, what? Oh my God, the OnStar lady.
That was the North Star. Yolanda.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
That was amazing.
So funny.
That was amazing. Yeah. And I mean, it was a good way of introducing how passionate he is about Katrina. And I think you said this either last episode or the first one or something, where you said his emotions are current. Like, he still feels exactly what he felt 200 years ago.
Because it was yesterday to him.
Because it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But her feelings, we don't know.
Because she's been trapped in the other dimension, in the world between worlds for so long.
Yeah, and she's been awake and cognizant. And so it's interesting to see just how raw and, like, real his emotions are. And then have the North Star lady, like, all crying over
I know. Well, he's like, you deserve better. You need, and unless you feel with that sheer force of emotion, you should not give your heart to him. He does not deserve you. And thank you for showing me how to use the entertainment center.
I have to say that's something I'm surprised they passed up on, though.
What?
I mean, they explained it a little bit, why they didn't do it in one of the other episodes, but that's an easy writing point would be his betrayal of she's been lying to him their whole relationship, that she's a witch. I mean, you'd think he'd have some sense of
I think he was shocked.
He
was shocked by it.
He was shocked, but you'd think there'd be usually writers will take that round. It's like, oh, let's make him hate her for that, and then they have to solve their differences through an episode. But I mean, I kind of like that they kind of trim the fat.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's showing you that love makes you do the crazy. He's like crazy in love.
He's still confused by it, but she saved his life. She obviously did it for a good reason. You know, she lied to protect him. And I think on some level he understands that. Now, does that mean that he completely understands why she was into the witchcraft? I mean, honestly, I think that this whole experience, more than anything, is what has taught him why she was into witchcraft, because she knew what was coming. She was a member of the good coven. She was trying to protect the world from evil, from death, from the Four Horsemen. as the Hessian said later in the episode, this is a symphony that has been hundreds of years in the making. So this war was going on long before the Revolutionary War.
Well, yeah, and he did say that. He said she didn't tell me to protect me. That was his reasoning before.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense, but writers would take that.
Right, but they don't have enough time to deal with it. And as we heard this week, good news, season 2, the show's been picked up for a second season.
Woo!
But that news came with, I thought that this was going to potentially get a back 9, and we'd have a full 22 episodes this year. Only 13 episodes. Only 13 episodes this season, which means that this storyline is going to move at a breakneck pace. As we saw with Under the Dome this summer, there's not really any time to mess around. And every episode has been fun. Every episode has moved the plot forward in some way. And now that we've got our core relationship set, we can just play. We can just play in this fun, awesome world that we've built.
I appreciate that too, because I actually like the shorter episode format.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have
filler
episodes. Yeah. A very special episode of Sleepy Hollow. No.
A very sleepy Christmas.
Very sleepy Christmas.
Exactly.
I also too like 13 episodes. That's good for me. 13-hour-long episodes. Yeah. That's good for me. I mean, there's other shows. I think does Scandal do 22 episode seasons?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. I tried watching that, and I like the show, but it's just kind of they drag it on a little bit because they know, hey, we got 22 hours. We don't only have 13 hours.
Right. Or like
it's also a different type of show too. I think
true.
They're trying to give a lot of this is more actual action where people are shooting at each other and ripping each other's heads off. It's like when you have that kind of like action pushing the plot line ahead, you're not going to take time to like verbally explain a lot of backstory. You're going to let the audience fill those holes.
It's kind of like the last season of Fringe, which was, highly serialized, but then there were a few episodes that were very much standalone. We've got to solve this problem episodes. Next week looks like more of a case of the week kind of an episode, but I wouldn't be surprised if it moved the plot forward in some way. But I agree with you guys. I far prefer the shorter seasons. I'm bummed that we're not going to get more this year because of how much I'm liking this show, and I want as much of it as I can get. But at the same time, and like I know we reference Buffy a lot on this after show, but I've been watching it.
Yeah, in my defense, and then to jump to Matt's defense, there's a lot of just like Buffy had a lot of influence on television in general. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. But there's a lot of writers in television today who've gone on, written for other shows, and those shows they brought with them themes from Buffy, and so there's a lot of that kind of influence, and a lot of people who worked on Buffy, like the special effects guy for this show, who's the head special effects guy, worked on Buffy.
Yeah.
And so
its influence is highly felt on this show, but this show won't have, say, the which kid is going to shoot up the school episode.
Right.
Exactly.
So as a Hessian, I would like to get back to the show.
Please, let us talk about the main relationship between the sisters who are not with the trusting of each other.
With the trusting, I would like to first go to the talking about. Well, of course, Orlando Jones is...
Oh, the Captain Irving, sir.
The Captain Irving,
Oh,
yes.
somebody,
Mr.
a
Frank.
fan pointed this out. So,
Washington
Irving wrote the original Sleepy Hollow story. And so they were saying that Frank Irving is probably either a reference to that or he's like a descendant.
Neat.
Which I think is super cool.
Really cool.
I like that.
So Frank doesn't want to give her... I mean, he wants to arrest her. She's begging for time.
Yeah.
Gets time with her. And okay,
I'm
sorry I'm rushing through this, but like, okay, we get the scene with the foster mom, but this next scene blew my mind.
What, the scene in the cabin?
The scene in the cabin.
Okay.
The cabin is back!
For anyone who didn't watch our Under the Dome after show, there was a cabin that played minorly into the events of Under the Dome, but we loved that set so much we brought up a whole bunch. But yeah, now this show has a cabin. It's August Corbin's cabin.
Yes, and it holds lots of secrets just like the Under the Dome cabin.
Dude, it's like a Corbin cabin conundrum.
I know. I know. Lame, but I'm not gonna call it.
It's alliteration. That's what that is. Goes to the alliteration jar.
Yes.
No.
Can we have one of those?
No.
Can we have one of those?
No. A thousand times no. Let me talk about this.
No. That's alliteration.
Corbin had been secretly training Jenny for years and hadn't told Abbie.
How did we not know that?
Oh my God. My mind was blown. I was like, this show is so awesome.
Yes.
It brought in, like, he has basically been training both of the girls, which makes me think now more than ever that they're the two witnesses.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that scene at the end where, she's telling Jenny about the two witnesses and she's like, the two of you. And I just want to be like, no, it's the two of you. There's no way. No, Ichabod is there to shepherd the two witnesses through their journey. And this whole series is going to be about the repair of this relationship and rebuilding a trust that over the many, many years has just been utterly fractured. And it's just so rich, their relationship. And I loved every scene that they had together. They have awesome chemistry.
They
There's
do.
just
all
fireworks.
three of them do.
Yeah.
It was great.
Fantastic. I loved them solving, where the sextant was leading them.
Oh, that map situation that comes up. I don't know if anyone's read Inferno, which is the Dan Brown
about Dante's
book
Inferno.
about Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
But that's like the first plot point in there is there's like a map that comes up kind of the same way they bring up the map that way.
In a sextant?
Not in a sextant. I'm trying not to give too much away, but it's in a device where they shine a light through it.
Okay. It's a Dan Brown. There's always a device.
Yeah, which is, I was like, ooh, there's a Dan Brown kind of thing going here because we got Inferno, we got the
I was all
Paradise.
national treasure about it. I was like, I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, kid.
Yeah.
We're going to get some Sleepy Hollows in here.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey there, sleepyheads.
My dad's telling me no. All right, sorry. Okay, let's go back to Sleepy Hollow.
Captain Irving, where is my sister? Anyway, I do a terrible Nicolas Cage.
You really do.
Nicolas
so
Cage
awful.
is terrible, so it's fine.
He's the best. How dare you? If Nicolas Cage guested on this show, I might die from joy. I might split in half, and my soul would literally rise into the air, defying all gravity and all sense of reason, because I would be that effing happy.
He's so bad, it's good.
Oh, it's great. It's so great. It's like a lover's caress. It's that great. Anyway.
He's not good to have at Thanksgiving, though.
Why?
Did you have Thanksgiving with...
No,
with
because
Nicolas
he
Cage?
never turns down a role.
Oh, geez.
That was
Yeah,
an old
that's
internet
done.
joke. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. You apologize to the people.
I sincerely apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, this scene blew my mind, though, like the whole... Because we should have predicted that. We should have predicted that Corbin was in contact
but
with
how
Jenny.
could we have known?
Yeah, because she's been in our brains.
Yeah, she was
She's
in the
been
asylum.
in the mental institution the entire time.
But she really was in and out, and she was traveling the entire world, getting training in Somalia and in Mexico and all over Africa and Asia.
Yeah, it's like, joke's on you, Abby. Your sister's been having a pretty awesome life.
Yeah, like you think about, Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, we meet up with her in the asylum, but she was a freedom fighter before that, down in Mexico. So like, where did Jenny get her training? We found out this week, and she is damn capable. And when she pulled out double pistols from her bag, like we were like squealing like little children.
I was like, she doesn't play Halo 4, she plays Halo 2.
Damn right. The crappy one.
Hey, that was a good one. Do you think they're going to be going back to the cabin? Because she went across the world finding all these things.
I
bring over.
hope so.
So I really want to see what she found in the cabin. Plus, was it when she went to Wendell, she went to the bar. What's his name?
Yeah.
Wendell. Yeah. And we'll talk about Wendell in a second.
I feel like that's going to be a location as well. The bar that is Bar GR on the outside.
I don't think after the contact there is gone.
Yeah.
But is her stuff still stored there? Or
no, she took it all. She took the bag.
Was that just a go bag with passports and cash in it, or did that
passports, cash, guns?
Okay, so she has no reason to go back there.
No, and it may have had keys to Corbin's cabin.
So the cabin is going to be their like central like.
Well, no, because the armory is their central base of operations. The question is, when Abbie finally gets her out of the asylum, if she gets her out of the asylum, I hope she does.
I think
that's
she
her
will.
place.
Yeah. Would that then become her place? So then that would be kind of our 2 bases of operation, kind of like on Fringe, and I know I reference Fringe a lot, where you had the bishop household and you had the lab. You know, you need 2. You need a homestead and you need the base.
Yeah.
Oh, so I want to bring up something real quick.
Please do.
And a place where Ichabod can stay because he's been staying
Stuck
in a
up in that
dingy
motel. Oh
motel.
man, him and Jenny sharing a roof.
He'll fit in so well at that cabin.
Meow.
Man, sleepy cabin. So we hear them talk. We hear the Hessians now that we know as they're called.
Yes.
Talk about item number 37, and we know where to find item number 37. Then we see that they make it a point to ask, oh, well, what regiment is it, when he's trying to prove to Jenny that he's actually from 250 years ago.
The
37th
regiment.
37th regiment.
Yeah.
So numbers really have such a big play in this. So I really want to look. Have you guys noticed anything from the last few episodes that we might have to rewatch to see if there's any more references to numbers we might have just looked over?
I mean, it's entirely possible, and I highly encourage those of you at home to reach out to us on Twitter, on YouTube, on iTunes. If there's some kind of number pattern, we want to know about it so we can tell everyone else about it, because you guys are smart cookies. That's why you're fans of this show.
Yep.
Speaking of which, while you're on iTunes, please subscribe to our podcast and review, rate, and comment. This stuff helps us stay number 1 for the 4th week in a row. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, we love our fans because they are the best in the world, and we try to reach out to them as much as possible on YouTube. It's a little harder on iTunes, but we do our best, and we love giving shout-outs, and we love 5-star ratings because that keeps us on top, keeps us more searchable, and keeps us the best Sleepy Hollow podcast
And so
on the
far,
internet.
we're number 1 download for AfterBuzz.
Yes, for the 4th week in a row.
Yeah,
Now,
you guys rock.
Also, you guys gotta join us on some of these Twitter conversations
'Cause we're
these
going
things are crazy.
bananas.
Yeah.
I'm totally shipping Ghost Corbin and Ghost Katrina.
You're
Hashtag Corbtrina.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
happening.
Corbtrina.
It's happening, guys.
it's a movement.
tell you,
it's the movement.
In that purgatory world, you know,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some slapping bass going down. There's some nice like riffs
Slapping.
landing.
Yeah. If you want to read Steven's fan fiction, you can find it on his website.
NSFW.
NSFW fan fiction. I saw something this week that I want to bring up. So there was a lot of writing on walls. There was a lot of writing in German in
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, in the Hessians' basement.
Yes.
But there was a message on the wall in the bathroom that
bathroom.
Jenny was in that stuck out to me because it was like very prominent in the background.
Yeah, they kept shooting it, and it was
The
in
me-
red.
Yeah, the message was keep telling yourself that. And I'm wondering, keep telling yourself what? Now, is that a reference to Abbie denying what had happened to her and her sister, and Jenny getting, shut out and sent to other foster care and sent to the insane asylum? Is it the show telling Jenny to that, Abbie is not to be trusted? Oh, keep telling yourself that. Is it a message from Maloch? We don't know.
Where was it again?
It was on the.
She's packing her bag.
It was on the toilet paper dispenser when she's when she's packing her bag in the bathroom when she's checking it. It's like 18 minutes through the show. It's like a little under halfway through the show.
She might have just kept forgetting to buy toilet paper.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
it wasn't. But it wasn't
No,
her place. It was like in the
stop.
gas station.
Yeah.
But I think
It was like a really prominent, and like the way it was written, the handwriting was like too, not demonic, but it was like too like, it wasn't just set dressing to me.
Yeah.
It popped.
yeah, it was
Do you-
in red on a white dingy
Yeah.
toilet papery thing.
I just still wonder where Andy is.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's still
like-
running
Andy.
around with his head not quite cut
He's
off.
probably writing the messages.
Well, because
Yeah.
because we
Help
don't.
me, guys.
Was
I'm a
was
zombie.
he a Hessian?
No,
I mean, he wasn't German.
He's not
but
German.
He's not German, but was he? They always say like that was the creepiest part about this episode was that everyone's a sleeper cell. You never know who's who. Like that's why when they went down in the basement, this is a math teacher. Like this is this. Like it's
or he was a piano teacher.
or a piano teacher. Yeah. So I imagine not everyone has to be really, really German to be a Hessian. I just imagine there are people who are being controlled and
There are
know about
people
it.
other than the Hessians who are in Evil Coven or are working for Moloch.
So what do you think Alec or Andy was?
I think that he was just a member of the Evil Coven. I think Hessians are one faction in Evil's army.
Yes.
In Moloch's sleeper
Okay.
cell. I think that the Hessians were his most trusted warriors in that army.
Do you think he's coming back, Andy?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You don't leave that thread hanging for no reason.
And I think if we're going with like the Paradise Lost metaphor, because they were saying that Moloch is now Moloch has lots of meanings, but the one that they pointed out was that Moloch is he's the greatest warrior of the fallen angels.
Yes.
So he's basically, I guess, the entrance being into the 7 circles of hell. So there are plenty of catastrophes and demons to meet if you have this, and so there got to be like legions and levels of demons and bad guys.
Well, I just want to quickly this is just off Wikipedia, but Moloch, it is he's the name of an ancient Ammonite god. Moloch worship was practiced by the Canaanites, Phoenician, and related cultures in North Africa and the Levant. As a god worshipped by the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, Moloch had associations with a particular kind of propitiatory child sacrifice by parents. Moloch figures into the book of Deuteronomy and the book of Leviticus as a form of idolatry. Leviticus 18:21, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch. Now, when Abbie is talking about her parents, right? Dad ran off, and then mom lost her mind shortly after that. Now, Moloch was a god who people sacrificed their children to. What if their dad sacrificed them to Moloch?
That could be very possible.
And that's why mom lost her mind.
Yeah.
But they were, when they saw him, are you saying when they saw Moloch, that was him sacrificing them?
Yeah.
Because they were in a foster home at that point.
They were in a foster home already?
Yeah, when they found, remember, because last episode we find out that the reason she lied and didn't back up her sister was because they were actually in a foster home that was good, that was decent at that point.
Yeah.
And they were sneaking beers, and they'd rather say that they were just out wandering in the woods than they would sneak beers. So that's why she didn't back her sister up, because they were in a good foster home.
All right. Well, then maybe my theory is heading into crazy town. But what if before Dad ran off and Mom went nuts, he had already made that deal with Moloch, and it was just fated that they would run into him again?
I could see that.
But also,
like that.
if they're the witnesses,
yeah,
they're going to be inevitably entwined.
That's
with
true.
Moloch.
Well, here's another question, right? So if everyone is a part of this war, is Dad still out there, and what role does he play in the war?
Well, maybe Mom's still out there too. She had a breakdown, but did they say she died? I don't.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. Steven, you?
I don't think they said she died.
Okay. Well,
I mean, everyone's still at play here. That's the thing. It's like everyone's so.
Even people who got blowed up,
exactly,
they are still in play.
It's like that dude
because of Ghost World.
It's like you're playing Monopoly with someone and they hired a 500. It's like you ass, but then at the end you're like, oh, that was so brilliant.
Yeah. Man, I love this show because they're giving us like lots of great little nuggets, but they're leaving all the possibilities open, and they have 7 years to play them all out.
Yeah.
It's effing rad.
And when you talk about numbers, I mean, so if we're going for biblical references, numbers are so important for biblical references, which is why I think they're highlighting numbers.
I think so too. And we may see this number conspiracy continue to spiral outwards.
Oh. Epiphany.
Sorry. Lay it on us.
The mom has to have something to do with it.
Because she went crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. Because they mention, remember how Mom used to have us read the Bible and recite the verses over and over and over again?
Oh, yeah.
It's like she knew they were the witnesses.
Whoa! Okay.
My mind exploded.
I know, but here's the question, right? So, were their ancestors potentially slaves during the Revolutionary War, and were they somehow in contact with General Washington?
I don't know. I mean, we have 9 more episodes?
I love how this discussion has been almost entirely speculation. Like, we're touching on this episode, but like, I think we're more excited by all the possibilities that this episode brought up than even the episode, which was already great. Man.
Demon book.
Yeah. The Lesser Key of Solomon. Let's talk about that. When he sliced his effing hand open and then the words started appearing on the page, I was going bananas. Steven had already finished the episode, and I had to finish it later because I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm doing later. My schedule on Tuesdays is bananas. But I'm like screaming so loud, he comes back in to watch it again with me. And then the door to hell opens, and it's a pentagram, and we're seeing demons, and with 72 demons, that's another number this week.
Yeah, 72.
72 demons in the seventh circle of hell, and we're seeing them start to claw their way through the fabric of reality to enter the world. And then one of the Hessians gets Jenny at gunpoint, and he tells Abbie to put down the book. She's like, I'll put it down into the fires of hell. Bam! And then Jenny breaks away, and she beats the crap out of the Hessian, and I love this show.
Dude, the first thing I was wondering is like, okay, you just got thrown into the seventh circle of hell. What's it like there? How's it like?
Hot?
I was literally just thinking like,
Burny?
I wish they like showed what that guy saw like for the few seconds he lived.
I think that one shot would cost about half an episode. You know what I mean? That's an expensive effect shot, and great design work on those demons. Like, even though we were complimenting the show last week for using practical over digital effects, but these demons looked great. Really, really solid effects work this week.
Dude, the ooze, man, the ooze was creepy. You're like, damn.
The
ooze.
unholy water.
The unholy water.
Yeah, was super creepy. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what am I watching?
And I think that book is still in play. I mean, I think yes, because I think she knew that. I mean, if this is gonna, she knows there are like 7 years of tribulations.
Yeah. This
can't be the first time they're gonna open a hell portal, and this can't be the first time that like the.
But it burned. It burned in hell.
Yeah, it burned. I really wish a demon got out and then ran away. I think that would have been like a really cool thing to come back later, like. You find out that it was the demon coming out. But, yeah.
I don't know.
I think that, I mean, a book that magical and that powerful, I think that there has to be a greater way to destroy it. And I think she probably knew that if she just threw it down there, she was taking it out of play in this world, but still
someone could bring it back from the other side. That is something.
I feel like that is a possibility.
We need to call John Edwards.
Yeah. I want to talk.
You don't go.
Oh, brother.
That was an old school reference.
You loser.
Oh my god.
I love you, Steve. John Edwards, really? Okay.
It was crossing over.
I know. Stop it. I want to talk about the scene between Abbie and Jenny in the interrogation room. She comes in, she unlocks Jenny's handcuffs, and she really makes the most honest apology that she can. She's trying her very best to make it up to her, and prove that she's not going to abandon her again, and she's not going to turn on her again. And that's like what I love so much about the relationship is there's so much hurt there. There's so much hurt there. It's going to take a hell of a lot to undo that damage. And it's just such rich material to deal with. And I just thought that they pulled it off excellently.
That is an acting scene class right there.
Yeah.
Like that is a great scene.
It's a master class
to like practice with.
They're all the core actors in this series are all very strong.
Yeah.
And it's clear as to they were cast because they're good actors, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a great.
Do you know what I liked this week? That
doesn't always happen.
Irving got a hot second to be a good cop and be a better cop than Abbie's ex, who's still hanging around.
I cannot.
Jesus.
I cannot.
What are we gonna do with this dude?
Did you guys notice? Like when we were watching Matt, they were talking about us Hessians are all around you. We are everywhere. We can be your math teacher. We can be your music teacher.
We pump your gas. We make your pizza.
I like to play clarbelt, the piano, but. They cut to her ex-boyfriend while he's talking about this stuff with Irving in front of him. And I'm like, oh, dude.
He's not German, but I bet there's something shady going on with him.
Yeah, but they're talking about people close to you. And I'm just like, how do you get close to one of the witnesses? Because they knew who she was.
You sleep with them?
They knew her name. They knew who she was. Moloch has been talking to them. So Moloch's known her since she was a kid when he first came and saw her. So everyone around her that was close to her could have been like that.
They could have been shaping them since the beginning.
Exactly, and the only reason Jenny's such a fighter is because Corbin's the one who intervened with that.
But then here's the question, right? Why would you let them live? Why would you let the witnesses live? Unless the witnesses ultimately decide the fate of the world, and they have to be alive for their plan to ultimately play out. I don't know.
It's
I
probably
think
gonna
that
have
might
something.
be a factor that they have to be alive.
The
Yeah.
blood of the witness or something. We'll
Something
probably find
like
out
that.
about.
The blood of
Yeah.
the witness at the right time.
Yeah, and
I mean-
it has to be fresh blood, okay? None of this in a jar shit.
None of this cut your hand over a book to read a book.
Yeah, none of
No.
that
Because
bullshit.
they all, I mean, the Hessian did say they were waiting for the right time for things to happen.
That's true. But Steven, I need to make a ruling, okay? Yes, anyone can be a member of the evil coven, but they can't all be Hessians, okay?
Okay.
The dude was obviously
Steven's German and just wants everybody to be German with
just
him.
like him.
I'm Hungarian. There's a difference, guys.
Oy vey.
Stephen Lemire.
Okay, Hungarian fans, can you guys back me up on this, please?
Yeah,
Do
Hungary up in the house.
Do we have any? Also,
I didn't say there was anything wrong with you
There's
being
nothing wrong with
Hungarian.
I know,
being
I'm just-
hungry. There's
I'm just-
nothing wrong with being hungry.
look, this is a show called Guilting You from the Booth, and that's what I'm doing right now. I can't even see you guys right now.
You guys totally missed my pun, and that's great. Moving
Fun
on.
jar.
No-
I didn't hear it, so I can't.
yeah, so you can't even do anything
Can't
about it.
comment on it.
So Ichabod got great lines this week, but he was
Yes, he
mostly
did.
on the sidelines, kind of just like moving the plot along. We got to see
Oh yeah,
his.
I remembered my point. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I
but
feel like
you were going to.
I'm going to anyway. I feel like they're the two witnesses, and everything is based on the two witnesses. Everything that was set in motion
Yeah.
is based on having these two witnesses. But I think Ichabod's the wild card. So like all of their plans involve the witnesses. Everything evil to raise everything involves the witnesses. But none of the plans of prophecy or destiny involve Ichabod because he was not supposed to be alive.
That's true.
I think that's true.
I think
yes.
that's a very good point,
Yeah.
and we're going to see that play out over the course of the season. I 100% agree.
I think that this is, once I got to the end of the episode, I feel like they're almost slightly powerless over what happens because
Yeah.
it's like you have to have these 7 years of trials.
Yeah.
And so
It
if
is
you
actually
know that's
tribulations.
coming, yeah, trials and tribulations. If you know that that's coming, then you can prepare for it, but you can't stop it per se. There's no stopping the apocalypse. There's just preparing yourself for it and preparing the world for it and hopefully making it less crappy than it's supposed to be.
Yes. Less crappy, more crabby.
More crabby.
Yeah.
But that's when I thought of the thing on the side of the keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a reference to Jenny convincing herself that she can stop the apocalypse.
Interesting. Oh man. And that would
Because-
be the perfect tone to like be snarky at her. Ooh, I like that.
Because she's so strong and she's prepared for all these things, but it's like, yes, you can prepare, but you're not going to stop it. You're just here. You're just
here to witness it happen.
here to witness it happen.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the things that I thought about after the episode is because when I was watching, I was like, wow, that was such a quick conclusion. None of the demons
It wrapped
got out.
up really easily.
It wrapped up really easily, but then you kind of think about it. Abby doesn't know magic. Jenny doesn't know magic. She just is magic.
will.
But maybe they might. You never know if
Okay.
the witnesses can learn it or not. But I think, okay, say the demons did get out. It would have been lame because we would have been like, oh, let's fight them with bullets. And then if they can be beaten with bullets, we'd be like, oh, they were beaten with bullets. So it's
Yeah.
like there was no really conclusion if the demons got out. Like I feel like they just would have rampaged everything and there was nothing we could do about it, and then the show would end.
Right.
And I don't feel like anything is final right now because they've defeated the demons in the sense that they've kind of barked them back.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Those demons aren't dead.
Yeah, there's nothing.
They're in hell.
Yeah, there's nothing to me that's final about that because if we can open a portal to hell, we can still have the demons come back.
Yeah, and I doubt that that's the only way to open a portal to hell. There's got to be dozens of ways to open a portal to hell.
Also,
Buffy.
you're not even there's
Yeah.
for every
Hellmouth.
coin there's two sides though. So for every portal to hell,
Are you saying that there are portals to heaven?
I'm saying they can bring in angelic features.
Okay.
Now that they've
Angels with guns.
Angels with angels with
Headless
angel
Horseman
guns.
had a freaking machine gun in the first episode of the
Heaven bullets.
series.
Heaven bullets.
It's gonna be like South Park where there's Jesus with like a ninja star.
Oh, that'd be rad.
I'm back.
Yeah.
No, I definitely see them bringing some from some figures from Christianity or things like that from the higher side as well.
Yeah,
Why
because
not?
we have limbo and hell so far.
Yeah.
We don't have heaven.
That's true. Well, we need to meet some members of Good Coven. It couldn't have just been Corbin and the priest. There's got to be other members, and hopefully we'll meet them soon.
I think Good Coven's going to be one of those greater good things like Last of Us, like kind of, oh, yeah, you're here, but you're going to kill us all to protect everything. Oh, yay.
Oh, you mean like they're going to try to kill Abby and Jenny?
They're going to be like, we need to kill the witnesses to prevent the thing from happening, maybe. That's, I feel like the Good Coven is going to be,
corrupt, perhaps.
you know, we're the okay Coven. You know,
Yeah.
we're
good. We're not the great Coven. We're not great, but we're good.
I mean, we tip 10%. We're the all right Coven.
All right.
I'm 100% behind Good Coven right now. I feel like Good Coven is good.
Yeah, I want to see more of their organization. I want to see the organization of Good Coven. I want to see more of Bad Coven. I want to see a Bad Coven meeting where Maloch shows up and he's chewing everybody out. I know that won't happen, but like I just dream up scenes that I never get to see for my favorite shows, and I'm sure you all do too.
Read Matt's fanfic.
No, Matt does not write fan fiction anymore.
I write it for him.
Anymore.
Yeah, anymore, because he is not 12.
Hey.
No offense to anyone who writes fan fiction, but that was just the last time that I wrote fan fiction. That was my fan fiction phase, and I've passed on. But those of you
To writing it in his brain.
to writing it in my brain, because there's way better effects in my brain than on paper.
The FFF, my fan fiction phase. Are we getting into predictions?
You mean
Is that what's going on,
FFP?
I have one question before we get into predictions.
Sure.
So that church where,
Yes.
they open the hellmouth.
What up?
Is that the church that the priest was the priest of?
I don't think so.
How
Okay.
many churches can they have in one town? Well, there's 144,000 people. Okay, I answered my own question.
By the way,
I couldn't tell. I mean, because we only saw the outside of that one church.
Are there
so I
any
was like-
Jews in Sleepy Hollow? Because
Hey.
everything's super Christian. I'm just saying.
Hey,
Jews are
What?
like Christians that are just like Old Testament Christians.
We came first. Go ahead, Steven.
I know you're saying I'm German, but I still can't taste dirt and know that there's a book hidden behind a wall.
Oh.
Well, that's a Hessian thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
that's a
specially
Hessian thing.
trained.
Okay.
They're trained all special to fight and taste dirt and be almost magic.
And eat poison pills.
Yeah, have cyanide tooths and torture people and separate heads from bodies because they worship the headless horseman.
This cement tastes about 250 years old.
Gotta be
That's
a
about
book
3
cement.
years younger than it should be.
Yeah. Hey,
I think
man.
it's here.
I would
book
watch
cement.
I would watch a show with mouth detective who can
Punjar.
Wait, that's kind of like Sherlock. Sherlock is like a mouth detective. He tastes weird stuff.
he's a mouth detective. He's also a brain detective and a body detective.
Ichabod Crane, mouth detective.
Uh,
Carbon dating through saliva.
Yeah.
All right, time for some predictions
Please.
and some strobe lights.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, Jacque
I'm leaving 'em on.
Borowski. Oh, you got one?
I'm just gonna leave the lights on.
Okay, leave the lights on. You
Well, I have a
creepy.
seizure.
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I think I already gave my prediction, which is I don't feel that they can stop this. I only feel that they can kind of witness it or make it better.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only prediction so far.
Okay, Steven, any predictions? Maybe specifically for next week?
I think we're probably gonna see Katrina next week. I think they're gonna deal with Katrina. Pestilence is here, man.
Yeah,
Freaking pestilence, man.
Yeah, man.
And if
there's a plague.
Yeah, dude, there's a plague. There's like a kid brought back from the past and stuff.
Yeah.
And he looks like the kid who was Joffrey in Batman Begins.
Joffrey and Batman Begins.
No, the kid who played Joffrey, Jack Gleason.
Jack Gleason.
He looks like him
a little bit
in his time in Batman. Anyway, dude, the kid's got like the plague, and Ichabod gets like the plague, but Ichabod's probably gonna survive it. But like, the plague never really hit America, so it's got to be like smallpox or something.
But they also they're also at like some sort of reenactment center, aren't they? I saw from photos. Maybe that was a couple episodes later.
Maybe. I do think, the kid opens up the questions about Katrina, because if he was preserved in the same way that Ichabod was, that brings about questions of how she preserved Ichabod in the first place, and that may lead us to members of Good Coven, because only they can help stop pestilence.
Damn.
I think that's what's up for next episode. I think that's what's on tap. I don't know if we get any Jenny next week. She's probably going to be back in the asylum for an episode or two.
Because she said it'll take about 6 months to get her out.
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the season is when they're going to finally bust Jenny out of the mental institution and then discover that, and that's going to be the big season finale, discover that she's the other witness.
Totally.
Can I give a prediction for the end of the season?
Please do.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that they're going to seal the Headless Horseman, and it's going to kill Ichabod, but Katrina's going to sacrifice herself.
To bring him back?
To like give his life or whatever.
Interesting.
Something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. We've got what, 9 weeks left? There's not nearly enough show left for me, but I'm still excited to see it all. Jacque Borowski, where can the people find you?
I want to give shout outs first to
Please
Joseph from DC, to Victoria, the Buffy fan, and to Laura Cody, who sent us an email.
Yes, thank you guys so much. You're awesome fans. Steven. Oh, wait, no, you didn't need to tell the people. I need to tell the people.
At 123Jackie_B on Twitter, at 123JackieB, all one word, on Instagram. And I'm doing the Once Upon a Time Wonderland after show here on Friday.
Sweet. Okay, Steven, where can the people find you?
You can find me here every day.
Okay.
For the rest of this year. And at Stephen Lemieux on Twitter.
Great. And you can find me at Matt Lieberman on Twitter. That's MattLieberman. You can also find me here on AfterBuzz TV on the Sons of Anarchy and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after shows. Thank you all so much. Have a great week. We will see you next week. Hopefully #1 once again.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We have the best fans in the world. Thank you.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Good night, sleepyheads.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.